So they went like full like galaxy brain with the Giannis stuff and the Houston Rockets and their young core, and the Pistons were actually involved in a trade piece. So I do have it all put on the screen.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. This is like a three-team trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I tried to like take out all the boring stuff and just like the contract detail so we could kind of get into it. So this is a lot. So the Rockets obviously would get Giannis Antetokounmpo, AJ Green from the Bucks, Chris Livingston from the Bucks, and DeLon Wright from the Bucks. The Bucks would get Reed Shepherd, Jabari Smith Jr., Amin Thompson, Wendell Moore from the Pistons. That's kind of funny. A 2027 first round pick, 2028 first round swap from the Rockets, 2029 first. Looks like another first round pick that they got in some other trade at 2031 first from the Rockets, 29.4 million in trade exceptions for Giannis, and a 2.1 million trade exception for AJ Green. And how this relates to the Pistons, they get Uncle Jeff Green, which I'd actually like low-key like, Jack Landau, Marchand Beauchamp, which you could probably, in my opinion, waive. He's not really that good. You do get some money from the Rockets because I did try to make this trade go through, and it wouldn't go through because of the new CBA and how it works. I think that 7.2 million does kind of work out. You get a protected second round pick from the Rockets. You get a 2026 second, which I think there are some stipulations on it over there, it says. And then you get a 2026 second from the LA Clippers. But like I said, it's probably like a really, really low end second round pick. But
yeah,
Laszlo, like, what do you think about this? Like when you see like these Bleacher Report, like 3-team trades and like how crazy they get sometimes.
I mean, I think this is an interesting trade because like first, if you wrap your head around like, okay, like what would a Giannis trade like look like? And it's the Bucks getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 first round picks, 3 of Houston's like most recent lottery picks, and like it's like, yeah, that's a, if you're going to blow it up, like that's a pretty good place to start from a trade perspective. Like that's not quite ground zero. Like I really like Reed Shepherd. I have a couple friends who I talk to that know basketball that really like Reed Shepherd. I need to see it a little bit more. I like Jabari, and obviously like Amin is like very, very talented and very, very athletic in a way that you can't like just replicate across like some of these other trade packages. So like it's 3 interesting young dudes and 5 first round picks like should get you in the conversation for a guy like at Giannis's caliber. For the Pistons, you just be like, I presume Uncle Jeff is on a short-term deal. Jock Landale's on like a longer deal, so you probably just like hold him for a couple of years and then figure him out. You mentioned Marchand Beauchamp is like he's probably going to get waived or cut. I know after he did not get extended, I did see a report on Real GM that like his representation in the Bucks are like working together to like find him a home, which is usually code for like good luck in Brooklyn, kid. So like hopefully that works out for him. And then the Pistons, like, yeah, Pistons could always use some like more spare second rounders, right? Like I can see where if it's all it's costing the Pistons is Wendell Moore Jr. and like you got to be a toxin dumping ground for contracts, like that's fine. Like that's kind of what they should have been doing earlier. Is the type of move they should have been doing, or trying to get involved in these type of moves. Is something they should have been trying to do earlier. But yeah, no, this is intriguing. Like theoretically, in real life, like I don't know why Giannis would like want to go to Houston, especially like he's like, okay, I want to play with Sengun, a guy who like who he is better than, but also like operates from a lot of the same places on the floor that he likes to operate. And like you can't like really run pick and rolls with them together because neither one of them is like a super great ball handler. And no matter what, you'd still have Jalen Green like jacking up shots. But like I don't know if Houston would be like on the top of Giannis's list, right?
Yeah, so I have a lot of like Rocket Twitter followers, and it's just because they like trolling the Pistons. But some guys in the Rocket Twitter community are actually like really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Man,
but
this any community, right? Is like they mostly like trolling, but some of these guys are smart, right?
Yeah, like some of them like low key, like you talk to them and you meet them and you have them on podcasts, and they're like really cool dudes, really cool dudes. But this was from Eric Pincus over at Bleacher Report, which I always love his articles because he just goes in like left field with some of these, and some of them come true. If I'm the Pistons, like to your point, like yeah, like these were moves that we were kind of like asking Troy Weaver to do when we had a little bit of cap space, but I mean, like we just kind of helped the New York Knicks kind of build a dynasty. It kind of feels like we helped them get Jalen Brunson, and we took like no knees Kimball Walker, and like you can go down the rabbit hole that way, but I mean, like I don't know, like Giannis in Houston, to your point, like yeah, you have Jalen Green, you have Sengun, like it'd be weird. I mean, like if you want to like kind of just draw straws, maybe it's because he's got a relationship with Hakeem Olajuwon a little bit. I know because he did train with them and he's really close with them. I know that's what Rockets Twitter was kind of saying, like, oh, Giannis and Hakeem are still keeping contact. They're really close. He's always liked Houston. I was just like, I mean, that makes sense. But like, yeah, a trade like this, man, like it would be a blockbuster. And I would be ecstatic if we had Jeff Green like on this team. I've always been like a really big like Jeff Green fan. Like he's been like the one role player that I've loved for years.
Yeah, and like so as I moved back to Michigan and have been able to go to like a couple of games this year, like one thing I have really enjoyed is like seeing how the vets like interact with the young guys. Malik Beasley has actually been like a really positive, like vibes-based guy for a vibes-based vet for some of the young guys. Like he's always talking to Cade, he's always talking to Ivy. You can like see it on the bench. Like he's always like getting on those dudes, and like that's really cool. And like I think it would be useful to have Uncle Jeff as like a Ron Holland like looper, right?
Yeah.
He's like Uncle Jeff like used to be that like super athletic, like rangy, toolsy wing. And he can like, hey, like this is how you train, this is how you like eat, this is what you do to become like a proper NBA pro in a way that like I'd be down for. I think that would be cool. It's always good to have adults in the room, right?
Yeah, I mean, we really didn't have that the past 4 years. I mean, like we had adults, but like they wanted no part of like babysitting, and it was so apparent. Like I'm good. I have a family at home. Have fun. Yeah. It's kind of like that uncle at the cookout that doesn't talk to anyone and just takes all the food and goes home.
It's like, it's like nothing I say or do is going to fix this team, so I'm just chilling, right? Like my checks cash on the 1st and the 15th either way. And it's just like, no, you want guys who are like going to take the time and try to make these dudes better.